so many times, you're a pussycat, you're not a dragon.
Oh, don't tell them.
Do you know what is so wonderful? Obviously, watching that clip back, you're a woman's woman. You will give someone hours and hours of your time, your ear. But when someone's just talking nonsense, I love you. Just shut them down.
Well, life's too short to talk nonsense, isn't it? Really? Yeah. No.
That fascinates me though, because I do, and I've heard a lot from people that work backstage how lovely you are from shows that you've been on and everything.
Oh, that's
You've got such
really
a
nice.
wonderful reputation with people. So I've always really wanted to meet you. It fascinates me that ability to then be very direct and very firm, very strong boundaries. Personally, I find that so hard to say exactly what I think like that.
Do you know, I did find it hard, but I think it's my business background just says really we could talk for hours about this, but really we're going to have to get to the crux of the matter.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you first do it, but actually you realise, it saves so much heartache and angst and
misunderstanding. Them from themselves, to be honest, aren't you?
Totally. I mean, some people you can see it in their eyes. They're not listening to you. They're going to carry on whether you think it's a good idea or not.
Yeah.
And some people have mortgaged their house. You know, and you think,
but I just want to ask you about that,
it.
actually. Do you get emotionally involved, even though you've got that hard crust and you can cut through it all? But when somebody has put in hours and hours and years maybe and mortgaged their house, do you not really have a soft spot for them?
Well, I feel bad for them and I don't want them to do it, but that doesn't make me want to help them make more mistakes. It wants me to help them stop making their mistake, and that's why I'm quite
playing devil's advocate, Deborah, there have been some people on the show that you've all rejected who've gone on to make quite a big success of their business. So it's not always the way, is it, that you're all right?
Oh, goodness. Do you know, I always say in business, I'm really not always... I have made some big mistakes, but I've got more right than I've got wrong, and that's all you've got to do in life. Nobody gets everything right.
How much have you invested so far with the programme?
I think it's 3.5 million now.
3.5 million? Wow.
And she has to really think about it.
And is it your own money?
It's my own money.
Yeah.
And actually, we follow up. I mean, I've got a business called Grip It, who this year has, I put another £1 million in because it's growing, it needs working capital. Yeah. So, the investment is part of it. But if a business is... if it needs more... That's why having a dragon on board is great, because, you can really plan to grow.
Yeah.
And you've moved your sort of implementing your business brain in the charity world now, aren't you? So tell us about that.
Well, I mean, I'm obviously passionate about entrepreneurs, and I was approached by Lend With Care, and they were setting up a microfunding online platform. And before I get involved in any charity, I'm a bit like business. I need to get it. I need to understand, and I need to see the difference it's actually making on the ground, because sometimes there's a difference between words and action. So I went to Cambodia, and I've been to Cambodia about 20 years before, and it was a broken country. It was straight after the war, and it was heartbreaking. Anyway, I went with Lend With Care to see what they were doing on the ground, and it's humbling and amazing to see what £20 can do.
So tell us about what's the thing behind the charity. This is to lend money.
Yes, so you can lend a minimum of £15, and it is a loan. It's important it's a loan, because handing out cash doesn't help, but actually giving them the opportunity to properly change their lives, and to work and set business. I mean, businesses, we're talking about selling tomatoes. It's not
but you see, if I were getting involved in that, I'd be happy to give the 20 quid if I thought it was going to make a difference.
That's a really good point. You see, I thought I would. That's exactly how I felt. What you can actually do is keep lending. So, you can either pull the cash out, or you can say, I've changed that person's life and their family's life. I can now help somebody else.
So give us an example of how that would work.
So I met an amazing girl over there who had started with her first loan of, £100, and she'd set up a fish farm. And a fish farm meant a muddy pond with a few fish in it. And then she thought, actually made a bit of money of that, and then she bought herself some chickens. And then she had other people coming in to help her with her lives, with the farm. The fish farm got bigger, and then she had somebody with a bicycle to go and sell it. So suddenly you're affecting her lives, her children's lives. Her children were now going to school. They were going to be educated. They'd have a different life. And she had people working for her, and their lives were changed.
So you're genuinely helping people to help themselves rather than just giving a handout.
And it's the loan bit is really important because it's
pride as well.
Pride, exactly. They're not getting handouts, and it makes them treat it with respect.
Well, good luck with that.
It's brilliant.
Deborah, speaking of a whole different kind of pride, obviously Duncan Bannatyne was in the jungle, and he's very proud of himself, his achievements, his looks. Apparently the girls in the jungle, they called him a sort. Apparently that was a good thing.
I was going to... What does that mean? I'd call him a sort. I'm not entirely sure it's the same thing.
I was going to say, do you think he's a hottie? But I think you just answered that.
He's very charming.
He's very charming. Oh, ever the diplomat.